Picture this, you're 7 years old, still in second grade, and you're singing in front of 20,000 people at one of the world's biggest sporting events. That dream became a reality for a New Jersey girl tonight. Her story at 11. If you're like these people coming to Yankee Stadium, your mind's probably on hot dogs and maybe catching a foul ball. But next season, Yankees management and Major League Baseball want it to be on something else: security. I'm Dustin Wlodkowski for WEBN Boston here on Summer Street in the financial district in Boston. And you know what? It's anything but summer. As you can see, all these plows behind me are working on clearing out the area. Only a few cars are driving around. Most of them are people going to and from places they've just shoveled. Just like that, a Sports Illustrated cover is born. A year after the magazine looked like this, it decided to feature Boston again to see how far the city's come.
We've been thinking for months, what are we going to do for the anniversary of the marathon bombing? It's the first sporting event that this type of tragedy has really happened on that kind of scale.
Thousands of people joined Mayor Marty Walsh for the picture. With him in the front row were survivors and first responders.
This morning we have so many other first responders here from the fire department, the police department, and many other departments that was here, and I am very happy to be part of this amazing event.
Taking an iconic picture requires the right photographer. Greg Heisler has taken thousands of photos for big names like Life, Time, and GQ.
And the most important things are, what can I do to get everybody's attention? So I bought this fancy red jacket yesterday to make sure they'd see me.
Still, the spur-of-the-moment behind-the-scenes shots may be the highlight for this cover-bound crowd. From selfies with the mayor to group shots with a hero, the pictures, stories, even clothing, all have a special meaning.
I wasn't sure if I should wear my running clothes, but that's my connection to my city and what happened.
So if you're looking for trophies or tracksuits, they'll all be in the Sports Illustrated cover. It hits newsstands next week. In Boston, Dustin Wlodkowski, WEBN News. It's still burning, but the worst damage is already done. The 9-alarm fire that brought chaos to Boston's Back Bay this afternoon is hurting hearts and homes tonight.
We had a serious fire on Beacon Street that resulted in 2 members losing their lives. With 13 members injured. It's a sad day for us and for the city of Boston.
Fire trucks and hoses were crammed onto streets surrounding the building where the fire happened. On nearby blocks, a haze of smoke and water vapor filled the air.
We opened the window and then we saw the smoke and we came out right away. And the smoke was just really thick and really black, and it was coming out of the roof.
At least 8 people were brought to the hospital because of this fire, and a hazardous materials truck was also on the scene. For the fire chief in charge of this operation, these flames are among the worst he's fought.
In 30 years, I've never seen a fire travel that fast, escalate that quickly, and create such havoc in such a short period of time.
Boston's Mayor Marty Walsh surveyed the damage as well. He later spoke on behalf of the city.
It's unfortunately takes a tragedy for us to appreciate the work that the men and women of the Boston Fire Department do.
Officials believe the fire started in the building's basement. The cause of the blaze is still unknown. In Boston, Dustin Wlodkowski, WEBN News. Oysters by the boatful, but are these bivalves safe? A West Coast strain of the Vibrio bacteria is now in Bay State oysters, and it's making people sick. The latest cases from Martha's Vineyard.
There was a first illness, and most of the growers down there decided to do a voluntary closure, meaning that the growers kind of got together and said, look, why don't we all stop shipping?
To solve the problem, state lawmakers changed oyster farming regulations. From May to October, growers only have 2 hours from when the shellfish are exposed at low tide to when they're put on ice. Some say that makes a tough job even tougher.
Picking up the oysters from growers and coordinating when our trucks can go to the Cape, because they have such a short time to get the product under ice, it's making logistics just very difficult.
The law impacts small farmers even more. Getting the shellfish out of the water that quickly means they need more trucks, more ice, and more staff. Some growers say that isn't fair because they've been doing things the right way all along.
A lot of people take the oysters and they'll let them sit in the back of their truck or outside for a while. For people like us that have always taken good care of our animals, it's just, it's kind of making it more difficult.
Then there's us, the consumers. Will higher costs for farmers be passed on to our wallets? No one knows if the price of oysters is going to go up because of this new regulation. That's because there are all different sized farms here in Massachusetts, and each one is going to have to change its operation its own way. One thing we do know, the Vibrio season ends in just a few weeks. From Boston, Dustin Wlodkowski, WEBN News.